For everyday people who have only graced a screen via a Snapchat story, it can seem almost unbelievable that anyone can forget they're being broadcast live on television. Though for celebrities, being friend of a camera is just part of the job description, or more so, just part of life. Being filmed all day every day might make cameras seem like they're just part of the furniture, and not really care about what others may deem as appropriate behavior to broadcast to the world. But many don't even have the option to hold back, and the tears just flow freely. Today, we're going to be counting down the top 10 embarrassing moments celebrities cried on live TV. At number 10 is Britney Spears. The pop powerhouse couple of the early 2000s, Britney Spears and Justin Timberlake, did not stand the test of time. I mean, it'd be surprising for bigger names to make it work. Even so, this breakup was hard for both of them, but Britney mostly, as she was the one being broken up with. Breakups are usually hard for everyone, but in the celebrity realm, things are bound to become inflated, not only because this breakup was incredibly publicized in all the wrong ways, with news sources making their own opinions on the topic, but also with private information about their sex life becoming public knowledge because Timberlake decided to spill the beans for some reason. His Crimea River music video featured a Britney Spears lookalike and also the knowledge that he was dating Cameron Diaz, so that was a bit of a burden for Britney to have to carry, I guess. In an interview Britney did soon after the split with ABC, Diana Sawyer asked how it felt to lose Timberlake, and Britney completely broke down. Seeing as they had known each other since they were both children, meeting when they both played the part of Disney Mouseketeers, Spears was obviously bound to cry after opening up about losing someone she's had around for just so long. She became so overwhelmed that she asked the interviewer if they could stop the interview, and I don't think there's ever been a man in Britney's life that had genuinely treated her well. At number 9 is Kaitlyn from Big Brother. Big Brother season 25 is going strong right now, and boy am I watching, but I want to talk about a particularly grueling season from 5 years ago. In season 20, house guest Kaitlyn only spent 4 weeks in the house, but man did she make an exit. Her fellow housemate Sam won head of household, targeting Kaitlyn and promptly giving her the chance to save herself with the bonus life power app, which is pretty self-explanatory. But in order to actually get back in the house, Kaitlyn had to complete the hardest puzzle ever made. No, not a 6,000 piece picture of a horse, but instead 6 huge foam pieces that she had 2.5 minutes to put together. Kaitlyn cracked under the pressure and sobbed on the floor for almost half the time she was allotted to put the puzzle together after one of the pieces wouldn't fit on the first try. It was excellent. The producers obviously wanted this power to work, not only because it was so childishly simple, but also because they did not schedule enough time for Kaitlyn to have a full exit interview with host Julie Chen, and a jury battle back was announced soon after. At number 8 is Ellen DeGeneres. In October 2012, when the Ellen Show was in its prime, Ellen broke down on the show over a pet dog, a Brussels Griffon Terrier that had been repossessed by the pet adoption agency. Ellen had reportedly broke the agency's contract by opting to give the dog to another family, even though it stated that Ellen was to be caring for the dog. After discussing with the agency privately and finding that to be unproductive, as they refused to give the dog back to the family, DeGeneres took to her daytime talk show and pleaded, apologizing and saying that she had done the wrong thing, but to please give the dog back to the family. Even using your television show as a platform isn't convincing enough because the agency stuck to its contract and did not give the dog back, obviously. At number 7 is Miley Cyrus, the second celeb on our list to get publicly weepy-eyed over a breakup, but this time it was during a performance. Although we don't know if the emotions at Miley Cyrus's performance at the 2013 iHeartRadio Music Festival, where she sang Wrecking Ball and struggled to keep the tears down, or her performance a few years later at the 2017 Billboard Music Awards, where her voice cracked while singing Malibu, were due to her on-again, off-again relationship with Hunger Games actor Liam Hemsworth. Pundits traced the 2013 emotions to the hugely public breakup the duo had in the same year, and the song she sang is reportedly about Liam, so it's safe to say the jury may be right about this one. The duo also decided to have a short-lived marriage in 2018, so it could be that the Malibu performance was about Liam as well. I'm sure he was still very much so in her life at that point. Coming in at number 6 is Andrew Liu. Now, not necessarily live, but boy did the producers let us in on a moment that Andrew would never do if it was. Andrew Liu was a contestant on the popular US dating show Love is Blind, and was caught indisputably deciding to simulate false tears in a 2-camera interview, seemingly under the impression the segment would be edited to exclude his insincerity. It's incredibly brazen to believe that television producers would ever be on your side about something like this. It would have been better to just not cry at all. The clip of Andrew putting eye drops in his eyes immediately started making waves on Twitter, where it shows Liu asking the camera operator if he's rolling, apparently getting a nod, and proceeding to cheekily smirk and throw some saline in those eyes before delivering an emotional and incredibly fake monologue about how much it hurts to get dumped, replenishing the tears every few lines. Andrew even goes on to ask the producers of the show if it was okay for him to be doing this, which he was told, quote, "If your eyes are hurting, then by all means." The clip had Twitter users praising the show for outing his faux move, saying that this is the exact way to handle those types of people. At her halfway point is Romona Singer. The Real Housewives of New York star had a true birthday girl moment after absolutely melting down during her birthday party. It being your birthday is enough reason to cry, however the theatrics were due to her simply delivering a sentimental speech to her friends, telling them how much she appreciated them and thanking all 99 of them. You know, the same friends she treated like garbage for the entire rest of the season, so when the sobs started to flow, everybody called crocodile tears. In fact, while Singer's eyes welled up with tears as she delivered the speech, her girlfriends appeared unmoved, some making faces at the whole scene. It's hard to find empathy for Romona considering her terrible behavior, often being extremely outspoken about her opinions most of the time without any filter. The lack of compassion she shows lands her in controversy with both friends and viewers, even if she tries to improve her act. She's just known to fall back into her own ways soon after, so none of her friends are huge fans of her. Singer's best friend, Sonia Morgan, made a note during her confessional that Singer's speech was the same every year, so she had prepared herself for the floodgates to open. Coming in at number 4 is James Kennedy. The ex-Vanderpump Rules DJ was fired after being an obnoxious and thriving antagonist of the show for the seasons he took part in. Lisa Vanderpump had finally had enough of Kennedy's repeated drunken fat-shaming of Katie Maloney, mockingly asking if she was pregnant, which is what ultimately had him terminated from the show. It apparently wasn't an easy decision, with Katie giving an ultimatum that she would leave if he didn't, but James being an apparent huge moneymaker with a lot of people coming to the establishment just to see him play. Lisa's business partners, Natalie and Guillermo, confirmed that the See You Next Tuesday set was bringing in 20% more business every Tuesday night. When Lisa made up her mind that she'd be letting James go, she gave Real Housewives of Beverly Hills co-star Teddy Mellencamp's brother a job on the spot, and invited James over for a stern chat, which led to him crying a whole lot. But it's hard to have empathy for someone who is so blatantly awful. At number 3, Iaconetti. The Bachelor alum first appeared on the show back in 2016, and viewers watched as he competed for the Bachelor of the season, Chris Solez's Love and Affection. Unfortunately for Iaconetti, Chris felt like he would not be able to provide what she thought she deserved in terms of the particular lifestyle she asked for. He made sure to let her in on this revelation while on a 2-on-1 date in Badlands National Park in South Dakota. Rachel did the opposite of take this dumping lightly, being obviously in shock that she was not picked, walking off into the distance and loudly, outwardly sobbing, continuously exclaiming, "Are you kidding me?" And our runner-up is Kim Kardashian. Now, today we're going to be talking about a moment that made history, meme history, when Kim realized her mistake in marrying her second husband Kris Humphries so incredibly quickly. The realization set in heavy, and it's glaringly obvious as to why the relationship only lasted 72 days. On the season finale of Kourtney and Kim Take New York, the final blow to the Kardashian-Humphries marriage was dealt. The episode opens with the cast's final week in New York, and Kim is already well on her way to thinking it was a complete mistake to go through with marrying Kris, going on to say that switching between the stress of wedding to traveling to New York had been very taxing and a lot to deal with, and definitely not something she was prepared for, and man did Kim cry. It's always a difficult thing to realize a relationship isn't gonna work, and it's super clear that Kim was just overrun with emotions about the situation, probably a mix of confusion, disappointment, and generally being incredibly overwhelmed with everything. Kourtney recommended that she share how she felt about the fresh marriage stress with Kris, and Kim did just so, the two opting to spend more quality time with each other during their last days in New York City, Kris even going on to call Kim a priority in his life. But unfortunately, a few romantic days in New York weren't enough to bring the spark back, or at least ease the stress. It seemed like the problems in their marriage were too far gone for Kim to get over, and her mind was seemingly set on the fact that the marriage wouldn't work. And our number 1 spot is Jen from Big Brother. Our second Big Brother house guest mentioned on the list is Jen Johnson, also known as Genius, from season 8. House guests don't get to know what their headshots look like before they're plastered over the living room walls for all of America to see, and Jen was obviously not thrilled about the look of hers when she first saw it on the memory wall. Her reaction is something that has made history in Big Brother circles because she instantly burst into tears, noticing the quote, "horrible picture production chose," and even tried to hide it by taping a pot holder to the wall as her fellow house guests looked on in confusion. She took to the diary room to exclaim that she's never taken a worse picture, but the aforementioned confusion really just came because honestly, Jen looked fine in the picture. Goddamn dysmorphia, am I right? And that brings us to the end of the top 10 moments celebrities cried on live TV. Let us know if we forgot any in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.